Good morning, everyone, and happy TGIF Day. It's Friday, it just went back, 17th, 2022. I've been down hard this time. Um, I've been, as I'm getting these poisons out of my body from the remedies, it's doing some damage, but it, no pain, no gain. You've got to get it out, and it's not gonna, if it went in, it's got to come out some way, and it may not necessarily come out in a way that's pain-free. I mean, we're talking years of these toxins in my body, and they're being taken out of my body finally. So I knew going into this it wasn't going to be fun. I knew it was going to be hard because the things that originally I went to see him for, I feel like that part has been taken care of. Now we're getting down deeper into my DNA and finding those things that have been introduced to my body that my body says, no, no, you cannot have this. So, and one of them was when I was a little girl. Um, Thank the Lord I had the immune system that I did have back then. But starting tomorrow, I take the day off, and the following day, the decon that's been in my body since my youth will start coming out. And I have a feeling it's just going to be like those three vaccines that I didn't get any of. It's going to be painful. And it's tough. My temperature has been all over the place. It skyrocketed to 101.5 one day. Took me about an hour to get it down. Then it dropped to 87. I've never had this feeling in my life where my nose and my insides of my body felt like I was up in the north in the Arctic winter. My insides of my body felt like that. It when my temperature read 87. It was quite interesting, and I said, "Well, I'm going home tonight. I'm going home tonight." And I said my little prayers, and I went to bed. And so just continued prayers would be great. To think that the poisons can be pulled out of my body when all the traditional doctors that I went to see outside of my primary physician just kept throwing their hands up in the air. You're a rare and complex case. And then they just give up. Okay, I can't even imagine being in that profession and just giving up. My profession, taxes, I would seek help. Or if I saw something that I knew I couldn't do, and it wasn't something that I was planning on learning, I would find somebody that could step in and do that tax return that I either was unable to do, or I was unable to, or I didn't have extra time to research that specific situation. Doctors have failed us for years, so why not try the holistic route? And that's what has been the most beneficial for me is holistic medicine and purified water. Hello, what? You mean I'm going to come in there and you're going to say all this stuff doesn't belong in your body? We're going to get it out. No diagnosis, no, none of that stuff. You'll have side effects, and everybody's body is going to react differently. But you have to remember you're taking poisons out of your body. You're not putting more poisons in. That's what the doctors do today. And that's what put me and the rest of the world in the situation that we're in is because we relied on them. We believed them. Kind of like the story of Adam and Eve. Eve believed the serpent, and she was deceived. We were all deceived. All of us. Even those who voted for this administration, this tyrant regime. Just saying. You definitely didn't vote for them to poison us. Not any of our officials throughout the years, because this is not an isolated case. This poisoning has been going on for years. They've been studying us for years. I stopped listening, especially with my Princess Harley. And my Rottweiler got to be past 17 years old by not listening to man and all of the laws. Oh, your dog needs this, your dog needs that. Well, guess what? They did fine. They did fine. In biblical days. Without all that stuff. They lived to be hundreds of years old. Hundreds of years old. So, I don't know. I've been down for so long, and I've been semi-quiet as far as doing videos. I was afraid that I would break out in some horrific coughing fit. I could barely speak. I was so weak. I'm still weak. When you realize the remedies are keeping you afloat and how bad you'd be without them, because I know how bad I was getting before they arrived, and it wasn't good. I barely left my room. I've barely left this room since May 26th. I take her out, Princess Hannah Grace. I take her out on very limited trips. But this is where it's so wrong with what we're living with today. I said no to this poison, yet it's still in my body. When are we going to make them accountable for what they've done? I try to every day in my own way. I am ridiculed, badgered, lied to, talked about, and frankly, I don't give a damn. Because when my life, I gave up on October 15th on 2019 after being prescribed mind-altering drugs from my primary care physician, and it's not the one that I ended up with. That one was amazing. This first one, Dr. Miller, no, absolutely not. He has no business prescribing mind-altering drugs to anyone. Not ever. Shame on him for causing Natalie, the one person that loves life more than anybody you'll ever meet, caused me to want to end my life. Now, I never have taken pharmaceutical mind-altering drugs since that night. I will not ever take them again. Even when I was forced into the nut house after I was released from intensive care under 24/7 suicide watch, didn't know it was illegal to attempt suicide, because at that point, why would I even worry about that part? I didn't care. I finally had enough. This world finally did me in to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. When you give your heart to everyone every day, when you believe your Bible about loving your neighbor as thyself, doing unto others The truth will set you free. You believe that your whole life. And even those adults would look at me and say, oh, Natalie, when you're an adult, it's different. Well, that's where adults got it wrong. Because if you still had the mindset of a child, the majority of this shit in this world wouldn't be going on right now. Because children wouldn't do this to others. Because children will look at it and go, why would we want to do that? That would hurt other people. Well, you're an adult. That's what we do. No. It's not what all adults do. That's what that tyrant regime is doing. Just saying. There is no other better explanation for them than that for me. That's my own title I've given them. I don't care to listen to them. I don't care to follow anything that they're saying. Because at the end of the day, all they're here to do is poison us. They don't care anything about us. And when you finally realize that, then you do whatever you can to help stop it and change it from ever happening again. You make provisions, you make changes, and you use your voice to let others know this isn't okay. This isn't okay. This is America. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave, and where one nation is under God, not a tyrant regime. God trumps that tyrant regime all day long. We just have to stop listening to it by turning off the idiot boxes or the radios or that person that continues to give you garbage in your mouth, from their mouth into your ears. Anybody that is defending this administration needs to go look in the mirror long and hard at themselves and start asking yourself in the mirror questions about what's going on in this world right now. And you tell me, if you were a child, how would a child react? For those of you that still continue to want to support this administration, I want to know how on earth you can possibly look at it in a child's eyes and still support it. It's not possible. Because any child on earth is looking around going, what on earth is going on? And they're trying to do whatever they can, and they're little, to help try to fix it. Where adults are just living their life of luxuries, not worried about a thing, making jokes about living in hell. See the difference between looking at the world through an eye of a child and living it like an adult? Well, I've been living it like an adult. But I've always had the eyes of a child. My whole life. Because frankly, I never really got a childhood. I felt like I was in prison unjustly. But I just went with it and tried to make the most of it. We have to make choices in life. And I always knew he had my back, no matter what. Always. Despite my wrong choices that I would make, or crazy off the wall things I would try. But my body's wearing out. And it's slowing down big time. And the more poisons that come into my body, the sooner I go home. Well, they'll call me home when it's time. It's just expedited it. And the poisons have been in my life, in my body since my youth. So I'm pretty much, my wellness daily is keeping myself afloat. That's all I can do. And I pray that He heals me. And you know, it's taken me a long time to do that because I've always prayed for others before I've prayed for myself. And I've added new prayers to my listing of things I really wouldn't have thought to pray for before. But He sends me messages in the craziest places. And it's like, okay, got it. I need to write that down and I need to read it just like that. Got it. This journey of full surrender and pushing aside man's world for His world is a lot. It's so much more fulfilling. And I'm in a sense of peace. There's that I can't even describe it because it's something I've never had in my life. I mean, I worked, everybody knew how much I worked, but then nobody realized how much I worked outside of my office. And even on my time off, how it was constantly approached. I never got peace. Even when I took month-long vacations before tax season, I didn't get peace. Because when people ask you what you do for a living, and you tell them you have an accounting practice and you do taxes, they're going to talk to you about your taxes, their taxes. I can't even tell you the tons of people outside of my practice that have shared their situation with me openly, honestly, in public. That's how honest I am. That strangers can tell me and ask me, but I still never got rest. So despite me being down for the last 2+ years and getting rest and suffering through pain and suffering, trust me, this has not been a cakewalk. People think I am just sitting around doing nothing. My wellness is a full-time job because I've been my own nurse when humans, frankly, wouldn't help. Oh, they could throw money in my lap. But that's about all. So me and my girls have made it work one way or another because He's been with us. He's led us. He brought us here. And I'm going to pause this for a second because I want to get this piece of paper that I wrote for prayers, and I think it would be important for everybody to add this to the prayers. So hold that thought. Okay, so it's actually in a great thought of a day, and today is from Mother Teresa on the bottom because they all have a thought. I would rather make mistakes in kindness and compassion than work miracles in unkindness and hardness. That's what we need to do. We need to turn those hardened hearts that's in this world right now to love. So we've got to soften them. So this was the message that I was sent today about prayer. Welfare of the city where I have sent you into exile, and pray to the Lord on its behalf, for in its welfare you will find your welfare. Jeremiah 29, verse 7. So add that to your prayer list today and stay tuned because I'm going to have more coming up unless I have a coughing fit. Thank goodness I have a pause button. So missed you all. Thank you for the continued prayers. I'm I'm still fighting. I'm not giving up. I will not give up. If he wakes me up, I'm ready to fight. And I may not be able to do it on foot. I may have to do it by my computer, but at least I'm fighting one way or another. So keep up the fight, but make sure it's the good fight, the fight for him. Just saying. Love to all bunches and bunches. Bye.